Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Oh, come on now. I know we can do better than that. We're a small but mighty congregation. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. All right. Much better. So to begin this evening, I'd like to invite up our Vice President, Karen Retner, to give us some announcements.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I'm Karen Retner, and I welcome you here on behalf of the Board of Trustees. I'm one of the vice presidents. We're glad you're all here, and if you're new to the congregation or a guest, please introduce yourselves to us after the service. We'd love to meet you and welcome you personally. And tomorrow is a special day. We have the bat mitzvah of beautiful Lily Schatz. We hope you can all be here, and we wish you and all your family a big mazel tov. There's many events of a lot of great happenings coming up here at Bethel, so please look in the bulletins or the programs that you're picking up. Read about all our activities and join us in as many as you can. And thank you so much. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you again, Karen. So let us now turn to Hinei Ma Tov on page 128, 128. It really is good to be celebrating Shabbat, observing Shabbat with siblings, with family, with friends, with community. Hinei ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Page 128, 128. Shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. So for those of you that aren't familiar with these services, we use this prayer book, the one that's got the sort of gold fire coming from the writing, not the one with just a plain gold script. And so now that we have welcomed each other and talked about how good it is to pray in community, I would like to invite up our bat mitzvah family. Actually, we'll wait for a minute, and we're going to jump to Shalom Aleichem, actually, first. So page 142, 142. Please join with me as we welcome the Shabbat angels that help us to make Shabbat special. Page 142. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu ni l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And now we turn back to page 120 and 123 for the candles and the Kiddush, the lighting of the Shabbat candles, and then we'll turn to the blessing of the Kiddush, the blessing of the wine. But first we start on page 120, 120. It is my pleasure to invite up the whole immediate Schatz family to help us with the lighting of the candles and the blessing over the wine. You are welcome. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner Shel Shabbat. And now we turn to page 123, 123. And I heard that there was a special Kiddush cup in the room. We can bring that up and use that one instead? All right. Just somebody grab the Kiddush cup. We'll transfer the wine. All right. Just to pour it into the other one. We're all, yeah, for sure. Glad you brought it. Page 123, 123. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon yinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim Kivanu bachata v'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. L'chaim. Somebody take a drink. It is always good to share the bima. Always good to share the bima with the bat mitzvah family, and always good to share with some blessings. So let us continue with our service on page 146, 146, with the Baruch Hu. I invite you to rise in body or spirit. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach Leolam Vaed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach Leolam Vaed. You may be seated. We turn now to page 148, 148. Please join with me in the English. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzvaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on the evening. Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. And now we turn to page 150, 150. Please join with me in the English. Everlasting love you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. And now we turn to page 152, 152. I invite you to rise in body or spirit for the singing of our people Israel's creed, the Shema. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. You may be seated. We turn to page 154, 154 for the Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol lebavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha. V'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha Ukshartam leot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot beineinecha, uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uvisharecha, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. And now we turn to page 159, 159, where we will join together in this reading before turning back to the Michamocha. And I invite us all on that first line of the reading to exchange the phrase to now be sing the song of people. Please join with me. Sing the song of people, joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come, the song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. And we look back to page 158 for Michamocha, our people's song of redemption. And though spring may seem far away, we are already starting to plan for our Passover Seder. So I want all of you to gird your loins and get your energy up. We are starting to energize ourselves early for Passover. So bring some of that Passover energy to this Michamocha. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים. זה אלי אנו ואמרו, זה אלי אנו ואמרו. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל. Now we turn to page 160, 160. Let's read together in the English before we get to the Hebrew of the Hashkivenu. Together, grant, O God, that we lie down in peace and raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us from enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, Va'al Yerushalayim. I bring us this English before we get to the usual Hashkivenu song that we'll sing because it feels like on this week, as in most weeks, but I think especially this week, I'm in need of reminding what we are asking God for that Sukkot Shlomecha, that shelter of peace, and what we are hoping that God will shelter us from, that this Shabbat we will gain some of that Shabbat peace from what is such a hectic, busy, difficult, and often really scary, the news that we see can be very scary. And so let this Shabbat bring us some rest and some peace. Please join with me. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu shomrenu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu shomrenu lechaim. We invoke God's help with that shelter of peace, not only for us as the Jewish people, but for all the world. And as we turn to page 162 for Vishamru, this is a song that we sing gladly as reminding us of our covenant with God as the Jewish people, covenant with God and partners in creation. And so for this Vishamru, I'd like to invite up our bat mitzvah, Lily Schatz, to lead us tonight in advance of leading us tomorrow.
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasso et ha-Shabbat ve'doriton baritolam B'nei Uvin b'nei Yisrael ohi le'olam ohi Leolam Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasso et ha-Shabbat ve'doriton barit olam Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasso et ha-Shabbat le'doriton barit olam Uve'im hashvi Shabbat v'yinafash Shabbat v'yinafash Shabbat v'yinafash Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasso et ha-Shabbat le'doriton barit olam.
Great job. I'm looking forward to, and all of you should be looking forward to hearing more tomorrow. It's going to be great. So it is always a pleasure, and I say this every time a bar bat mitzvah comes up onto the bima as practice. It's always good to have people on the bima to get ready, and it's especially good on the Friday night before the Saturday morning to get up and get some of the nerves out. So great job. Great job. And now we turn to page 164. 164, for the Amidah, the Tefillah portion of our service. I invite you to rise in body or spirit. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel chasadim tovim, v'konei hakol, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומיתו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. You may be seated. We turn to page 175, 175. Please join with me at the bottom of the page. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, and our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. Let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'odcha levadcha b'yirah na'avod. And now we turn to page 177. Please join with me in the reading at the top of the page. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us, so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth, which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha u'cha na'eh lehodot. It is thirsty making work up here, so thank you for your patience with all the drinking. It's water, I swear. So we turn now to page 178, 178. Please join with me in Shalom Rav, our prayer for peace. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon, lecho hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon, lecho hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael, b'chol et u'v'chol sha'a b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam, Tasim Leolam, Tasim Leolam. And now, we have prayed for peace. Our thoughts turn to those who are in need of healing, whether it is healing of mind, or of body, or of spirit. The congregation is thinking for healing of Jim DeArmond, Pearl Levin, Carol Friedman, Carol Wallace, Carol Solomon, June Van, Rabbi Michael Matchison, Sherry Chait, Jerry Chait, Larry Michalove, Antoinette Whirl, Linda Chambliss, Judge Frank Caprio, Fran Marcus, Howard Silvers, Paige Hedrick, Vanessa Warner, Jaime Klinger, Jane Stewart, Kathy Weiner, Rob Moreland, David Adler, Jeff Mayer, Linda Margulis, Sadie Charlotte Schwartz, Dean Fiandaca, Sophie Kruski, Arthur Aglico, Rose Aglico, Carolyn Boyles, David Charles, Karen Toker, Rabbi Ben Yehuda, John Moreland, Ken Friedman, Bob Thrasher, Don D'Amelia, Bruce Rutin, all those injured in the wildfires in LA, all Israelis still being held hostage, all Israeli soldiers injured in war, and all civilians injured in any war. If there is anyone here that has a name of someone that you are praying for healing for, I invite you to do so as my eyes meet yours. We hold all of the names together as a community. We turn to page 371, 371 for the Mishaberach. I invite you to rise in body or spirit. Mishaberach Avotenu Mekor habracha Li'imotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu Mekor habracha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. May those who will not be healed on this earth be blessed with nights free from suffering and days filled with peace. May God grant strength and comfort to those who care for the sick. May God help us to find hope and courage as we face fear and loss. May all who are ill be surrounded by the love of friends, loving companions, family, and community. And let us say, Amen. You may be seated. I invite you now to take a few moments for silent meditation, for the prayers of your heart. Ose shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, imru amen. Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Well, Shabbat Shalom again, everyone. All right, you are all here. I heard that. You're present. We're going to get back to that idea of presence later on. It is wonderful to be able to enjoy Shabbat, to celebrate Shabbat with all of you, and especially with Lily, your parents, your brother, your extended family, everyone who's here from the Schatz clan, as well as all of us here from the regular community, to celebrate this evening the Erev Lily's Bat Mitzvah tomorrow morning. So you did a wonderful job with Vishamru tonight. I know from all your practice, you're going to shine even brighter tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. And I hope you can all make it as well. Tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock a.m. All right. So, as we gather tonight for this joyous occasion and looking ahead to joyous occasion tomorrow, it is impossible not to think of those across the country in LA who are being so affected by the wildfires. People there have lost their lives, have lost their homes, and those that are still with us, as we talked about with the Hashkivenu earlier tonight, asking God to build a Sukkot Shlomecha, they're having a really difficult time with any Sukkot, with any shelter. So our hearts go out to them. And the whole world is watching. I've noticed that as far away as Israel even, LA wildfires are making the headlines. And for us here, we are very aware of the headlines in Israel as well. Aware of just how precarious things are, aware of and praying for the success of this hostage negotiation and their swift return. This week's Torah portion provides a profound lens through which to look at, to view these situations. We read of Moses encountering the burning bush, but the bush is not consumed by the fire that is burning it. It is a moment of mystery and wonder, but only because Moses stops to take notice. What might have happened if we had walked by, if he hadn't given it a second thought? Let us take a moment to ask ourselves, have we witnessed any miracles recently? Have we paused long enough to notice them? Tonight I'm going to explore the importance of being present, truly present, so that when life offers us a moment of wonder or a call to act or a chance to make a difference, we can be ready and recognize it and to say, Hineni, here I am. When Moses notices the burning bush, he could have dismissed it as a mirage or thought, hey, I'm new here. Maybe it's some strange desert phenomena that I've never seen before. Moses grew up in Egypt, in the city. And so he didn't, though. He didn't dismiss it as a regular occurrence. He stops. He looks more closely and realizes he is witnessing something extraordinary. And in that moment of presence, when Moses hears God's voice, because Moses is present, he hears God say, Moses, Moses, because God is a bass. And Moses answers, Hineni. Moses answers, here I am. What does it mean to say Hineni? What does it mean to be fully present, to be open, to be ready to engage with those special moments in our lives? How do we cultivate that ability to notice the burning bushes around us? Those signs or calls that urge us to act, to care, to lead, and to listen. An experiment was conducted in Washington, D.C. in 2007. Joshua Bell, world-famous violinist, was there giving concerts, and he worked with reporters from a newspaper to conduct this experiment. He went down to a crowded metro station the morning after he had given a famous concert and played that same music. 6 pieces of classical music he played during morning rush hour on this crowded subway platform. And the question was that he worked with the reporters to find out, the same music that people had paid hundreds of dollars to hear the night before, who would stop to listen to it during their morning rush commute? Of the almost 2,000 people that rushed by Joshua Bell playing his Stradivarius, playing this beautiful violin music on this beautiful instrument, only 7 people stopped. Only 7 out of almost 2,000. It begs the question, would we have stopped? Would we have taken time during our morning rush, trying to get to that next appointment, trying to get to work, running late, waiting for that subway, almost missing that next train? Would we have stopped to listen to this amazing music coming maybe from just 3 feet away from us? When Moses notices the burning bush, it isn't the fire itself that's miraculous. It's that Moses notices and he stops. That's our challenge too, to slow down, to notice, and to remain open to the wonders and purpose woven into our lives. But noticing is only the first step. Responding is what transforms the moment. When Moses says, Hineni, it's not just an acknowledgement of God's will. It's a declaration of readiness. Moses doesn't feel prepared. He is uncertain, and he is unsure. He feels he is unworthy. Yet his willingness to step forward, even in his doubt, changes the course of our history. So what about us? When have we been called to say Hineni? Perhaps it was a friend who needed a comfort, a stranger who was in need of assistance, or a story on the news that tugged at our hearts. Did we pause? Did we show up? Saying Hineni isn't all about having all the answers or feeling perfectly prepared. It's about being present and willing to try. And so here we are, present at your bat mitzvah weekend, Lily. We are here with you and your family. We are all here together, present at this Shabbat service. Tomorrow, you'll stand before us and say your own version of Hineni as you join the long and rich tradition of Jewish adulthood. It's going to be awesome, and we're all very much looking forward to celebrating with you. As we all prepare for Shabbat, to continue with our Shabbats, let us remember that the burning bushes in our lives may not be as dramatic as Moses's. They may be as subtle as a friend's request, a child's curiosity, or simply the beauty of a violin being played on a crowded subway stop. Let us slow down and open our hearts and respond with courage and faith and say, Hineni, here I am. May we enter this Shabbat and the week ahead with eyes open to see the sacred in our everyday, hearts willing to act, and hands ready to change the world. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. And now, as I mentioned before, thinking of our cousins in Israel, I'd like to turn our attention back to them and turn to page 678 in our prayer books, 678. And I invite you to rise in body or spirit as we join together in Israel's national anthem, Hatikva. Israel's flag is here. Kol od balevav pnima nefesh Yehudi homia ulfate mizrach kadima ayin letzion tzofia od lo avda tikvatenu hatikva bat shnot alpayim liotam chofshi be'artzenu eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim liotam chofshi be'artzenu eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim. And now we turn back to page 586, 586 for the Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon ha'kol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. Page 591, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו echad. You may be seated. Why should I wish to see God better than this day? I see something of God in each hour of the 24, and each moment, and then I see God's face in the face of the people that I walk by, and in my own face in the mirror. I find letters from God dropped in the street, and every one is signed by God's name. And I leave them where they are, because I know that wheresoever I go, people will come and see them forever and ever. We are remembering those who came before us. The congregation is thinking of those whom we have lost within the last year. Rodney Elk, Alan Hyman, Mary Louise Boyer, Buzzy Klausner, Gregory Wayne Berger, David Dunn, Barry Schoenfeld, Milton Margulis, David Shaknovsky, David Friedman, David Cohen, Mike Hyman, Jerry Spargo, Alice Macaulay Schumer, Carol Mandel, Helen Gerber, all those who perished in the LA wildfires, and we're remembering those whom we have lost at this time in years past. Erwin Aronoff, Ruben Bredbar, Florence Chait, Gertrude Fishman, John Kaplan, Lana Mons, Harry Resnick, Lawrence Charles Richter, Deanne Schwartz, Lorraine Stein, Harold Stern, Ava Teich, Samuel Weisbaum, Jenny Lynn Wolfe, and Bob Wilson. If there's anyone here that has a name that you would like to share with the community, someone that you have lost, I invite you to do so as my eyes meet yours. We turn to page 598, 598, holding all of them in our minds and our hearts. I invite you to rise in body or spirit for the Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, B'alma divra chirutei v'amlich malchutei, B'chayachon uv'yomechon uv'chaye decho Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yidromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei dekudusha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Osei shalom b'yimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. May the one who makes peace on high bring comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say, amen. You may be seated. The Kaddish is all about God, all about praising and extolling God. And so, turning from this piece of liturgy that is said when we are mourning, when we are mournful, let us turn to page 626, 626, for Ein Kelohenu, which is a much more upbeat song that talks about God and praises God. Please join with me. Ein Kelohenu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemalkenu, Ein Kemoshienu, Mi Elohenu, Mi Chadonenu, Mi Chemalkenu, Mi Chemoshienu, Nodel Elohenu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Malkenu, Nodel Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu. And now, it is my honor and pleasure to invite you all to turn back to page 603, 603, for the priestly benediction, where I invoke God and God's blessings over all of you. This is a blessing straight out of the Torah. And so I invite you to rise in body or spirit for the priestly benediction. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. May God's light shine upon you, and may God be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom, shalom, shalom. May you feel God's presence within you always, and may you find peace. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Please head into the vestibule for kiddush and motzi and snacks.